What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with the overall market. Just note that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on invested cash. The offer ends in a couple of weeks. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening so far. So, SPY is making a very interesting move. We pumped very nicely to about the 608 area, but there is one concern that I have, and that's the fact that we weren't really able to hold above that. So we are starting to see this dip just a tiny bit, and now we're basically consolidating around the 607 area. So we'll be watching to see what kind of reaction we get, at least from here, and I'll be very, very patient with this. Now, we had some data that came out. Everything was very, very minor. We had jobless claims. Everything was close to expectations. The bill auctions were fine. And besides that, I'm not seeing anything else. So there's not any data that's going to come out that's going to affect this, at least for the rest of the day. For the most part, we're just range bound. If I go back to about our 30 minutes time frame, you guys could see that SPY stuck between uh, basically stuck in the 607s. We want to see it lose 606.5 to really start dipping. Otherwise, this is just completely range bound. And if we break past 608.5, this will turn back to bullish. So until we see which way this breaks, we are just stuck in the middle. We'll give this some time to develop. Otherwise, just watch it continue to chop around here. I do want to give you guys that warning, though, to watch these levels and to be careful, because if we do end up getting that break, whether it's to the upside or the downside, there's going to be a big move coming. And that's why you want to be watching these levels and being very, very careful for the time being. For ES, I just want to say that there's a slight bearish divergence here, but we haven't officially lost our key support. There's tough resistance at 6,100, and we have support at 60,090. We're stuck in between, going back and forth and back and forth. If we lose 6,090, we're looking for a dip all the way down to this next imbalance towards 6,080. Otherwise, we're just stuck right now and shuffling between 6,100 and 6,090. So I think we're going to likely be stuck for now, and we'll have to see what kind of reaction we get. But just know that um, we're going to likely be stuck until we see a big move. And then I would just say to watch out, especially as we approach these levels. For Tesla, we pumped very, very nicely to about 375. We dipped a bit, but now I think we could kind of consolidate in this area. If we don't hold 368, we could be dipping back down to 365. But overall, I think that Tesla could attempt to hold that. So I think that's it's looking a little weaker here. We did pump very, very nicely. It could dip a little bit more from where we currently are, but we'll see if 368 holds or not. So make sure you guys watch 370 is our resistance, and then 375 above that. If 368 does not hold, look for a dip to 365, then 362. Otherwise, I think Tesla shuffles a bit here. It might dip a little bit more, but overall, we're just going to have to wait and see what the reaction is. Nvidia dipped a bit from 146, which is what our resistance was. We started to dip down. We were expecting that dip, but then, if anything, we got held up because we had some bullish news that came out, especially as demand for their chips is continuing to grow. So I think that with this dip and a bounce that's come, we are still bullish. And as long as we don't lose 146, we're looking for 147.5 as our target. If we do lose 146, we're looking for 144. So just keep that in mind. For Bitcoin, we pumped to 104,000. Now we dipped back down to 100,800. Sorry, 100,800 flats is the level right there around our 50 EMA. Then we have 102,000 as our resistance. So we're kind of stuck here on Bitcoin. It is showing some weakness because we have a double top here off our big pump. And if we lose 100,000, then this will start dipping back down to 98,000. We'll have to see if that holds or not. Overall, make sure you watch support, and we'll see if 100,000 holds. There is a risk of it dipping a little bit, though, so just be careful with Bitcoin. For NQ, this is also kind of stuck here. We have resistance to watch for around 2155, and we have the main support at 21,488. If that were to fail us, we're looking for a bigger dip to about 21,400 flat. There's a double top like structure. We're kind of range bound here for the time being. So we'll see if we get some kind of rejection or not. But I think that NQ will just continue to remain range bound for the time being. There might be a dip closer to about 21,500 flat, so be careful. And it's a tough resistance we're at so far. For the QQQ, we have a double top like structure, but it's not officially rejecting. If we were to lose 521.32, I will be looking for a dump to 520 or below. And if we break 524, we're bullish. Otherwise, we're just completely stuck in the range, and we're shuffling right now very close to 523. So I presume that's going to most likely continue. Apple pumped to 244 and rejected. We're going to be looking for 242 as our support and then 240 if that fails us. So keep that in mind, guys. This does have some risk of dipping lower if 242 fails us. MSTR pumped very nicely to about the 440s, only to reject back down. We have resistance around 405. We'll have to see if 400 holds. If not, look at 394 as support. If that fails us, we're looking for essentially 380. So watch those levels just to be safe. Palantir has 72 as our target. We'll have to see how we react to that. Could push a little bit more, but then I think it's going to consolidate up there. The Russell 2000 or IWM looks a little bit more bearish. We rejected off 142 or 242, excuse me. And we're on a bit of a downtrend right here. We need to try to break structure to turn back up, but otherwise it's been downtrending for the last couple of days. And we're going to be looking at our main support at 238 with resistance at 240. We'll see if we reclaim 240 or not to turn back up, but overall the trend is still a little bit weaker. For Coinbase, we pumped only to dump back down. We came down to fill this gap. We're going to be looking at the support at 329. If that failed us, we're looking for essentially 320. And we have resistance to watch for around 336. I think that we're going to be stuck between 329 and 336 for the majority of the day, but there is that risk of us dipping lower after that big red bar. So if 329 fails us, we do dip more. Otherwise, we're just range bound. Amazon's pumping. It hits 220 against a tough resistance. We'll see if we break that or not. It's very resilient right now. Our main support's at 218.5, but I think that there is potential for us to break through 220 if we keep testing this. And we could be looking for 222 as our target. Amazon's very strong nonetheless. Looking at Meta, we pumped and dumped. We were not able to hold above 615, so we're looking for this main support now at 608. Microsoft, we pumped very nicely to about 440. If we break that, we're looking for 442. 442 and 444 are going to be our targets. And then Google has the support of 175 and then 170. 173.5 would be the next support below that. So we'll see how things end up going. Anyways, guys, I thank you all so much for listening. The market's very, very choppy right now, so it's just completely stuck. So overall, we're just not really doing a whole lot for now. So I just want to give you guys a warning to be careful if you're trading options or anything like that. But just know the market does have potential for a much larger move once we see these levels break. Until that time comes, we're just gonna have to wait and see how things end up going. All right. So with that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys very soon in my next video in just a couple of hours for another updates. Until then, please make sure you guys remember to watch the very, very key levels that I called out. And just know that on days like this, they're going to be burning premiums because of this chop. So be very careful if you're trying to hold the short-term options, and we'll give the market the time it needs. All right. Thank you for listening, and peace out.